Governor Alia there. Well, I'm joined now by the National Secretary of the Middle Belt Forum, Ejembi, and the CEO of Beacon Security and Intelligence Limited, Dr. Kabir Adamu. Thank you, both of you, gentlemen, for joining us again on News Night. It's the second or so time that we'll be having you. You know, all the stories I've read so far have to do with killings, whether you're talking about Plateau State, Benue, Katsina. I mean, the list is endless. Now, let's narrow it down to Plateau State. I mean, this is the most recent, concern for Nigerians. When the governor says to his people, we have failed you, it is time for you to defend yourselves. Or, as a matter of fact, he said, rise to defend yourselves. The primary duty of government is to provide welfare and security. But when you hear a governor say that, I mean, is this to say that government or governance has indeed failed in Plateau State? Let me start with you, because I mean, you of the Middle Belt Forum. Let me start with you, Mr. Ejembi.
Thank you, and I would like to start by commiserating with the people in Otobi and in Plateau in Bokos, and all the other, of course, in Katsina. For every life lost, it doesn't matter where, that ought not to be lost, is worth mourning.
Right.
Now, the governor of Plateau State was re-echoing what General T.Y. Danjuma, former chief of army staff, one of the tested generals, one of those you can truly call the people who have paid the price for the liberty we enjoy, for the safety and security we enjoy, indeed, to keep our nation together. If the general, as far back as 2018, asked the people to rise up and arm themselves and defend themselves.
I think he made that statement in Taraba State.
Yes, it was at the university, the convocation of the university.
Yeah.
He saw it. He has intel. He knows what, it definitely was not just talking. At his age, not just that he's a general of generals. At his age, he has seen it all. He will not come to the public and make such a wetty comment, an allegation against the military, because he accused the military of collusion.
Back then.
Yes. So I believe that this call is not idle. The call is not without basis. He has the security reports. All the agencies report to him. He has a brief. So for him to make that call, he knows what he's talking about. But, but what we see, the theater of war, the places where the military is deployed, where the police, the theaters are too many. Nigeria is a country that the military and the police and all the intelligence agencies, what they should be doing, they are too few. To do it, and therefore the people must support them.
Yes, let me put you on hold. Thanks for that thought. Let's bring in, where the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutwang, actually made that statement, calling on the people to defend themselves.
Whatever arrangements the security agencies do, that is only part of the solution. The solution must come from the community. We have come to a point in time in Nigeria where every community must make arrangements to defend itself.
Right, you heard the governor there make that statement. Let me bring you in at this point, Kabir Adamu. I mean, the governor says, look, arm yourselves. Is it a recipe for anarchy when you have this kind of, call? Or do you agree with him that, look, it's a timely call? I mean, it's the only way. You even heard the governor there say, look, whatever, the security forces put in place is only like a backup. It's the communities that must be front and center of securing themselves.
Ngozi, as a people, we're only as good as the laws that put us together. If we reach a stage where we jettison that law and revert to a state of anarchy, which is what I'm hearing, if everybody picks a weapon and quote-unquote defend himself, then we're going back to that Hobbesian state of existence. I think...
When life is brutish.
Exactly. I think our leaders need to be truthful to us. We elected them through the social contract to protect us, like Section 14, subsection 2 of the Constitution says. If they have failed, I mean, why do we have elections? If they have failed, then frankly, they should leave the stage.
But don't you think the ability of the people to actually protect themselves or defend themselves, that in itself can act as a deterrent to any would-be attackers?
The problem with that statement is if everybody picks a weapon, then people are going to... I mean, right now, what we are facing in somewhere like the Plateau is an identity crisis that was mismanaged that has now allowed criminality.
I'd like you to break that down further. So
now, there are two groups, different by identity, different by profession, different sometimes by ethnicity, that are pursuing sometimes different interests. And this is an issue that has run over time to a point where they are now using criminality in an attempt to achieve whatever objective. And the objective could be hardening, it could be farming, it could be pure criminality, cattle rustling as an example. Right. Now imagine a situation where all of these interests that are convoluted in one little space, each of them is allowed to bear weapons. It will be the consequences...
It's unimaginable.
Exactly.
But the state actors who are permitted, licensed to bear arms, seem not to be able to, live up to expectations.
That's the point I'm making. We have structures that have responsibility for delivering security. Ngozi, I was here a few days ago.
Yes.
From that time till now, you have a correspondent in Plateau State. Ask him if one of them have been penalized, queried in the minimum for the failure, the colossal failure that we're seeing in Benue and that we're seeing in Plateau State. It is their responsibility. The Constitution says they're there to protect us. Taxpayers' monies are given to them. So my point is, don't absolve yourself of blame or responsibility and then push it to the community.
We also heard from the president who said to the governor, let me come in here, I'm bringing you in, definitely. Who says to Governor Mutfwang, it is, I mean, you have to do the needful. The president practically pushed it back, to the state governor.
Right. First to doctors' assertion that
you don't agree that it's a call to anarchy.
Identity issue that has been mismanaged. And the question would be, what identity have people mismanaged in Katsina State, in Zamfara State,
I will explain
in
that.
Borno State, in Borno State, in Benue State, in Kwara State? No, maybe Kwara is not the epicenter, yes. The kind we're talking about. In Taraba State, almost entirely all over the country. What identity has been mismanaged? From Dogonahawa, and it is not just a question of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, not one regime. So every governor who comes mismanages identity, and therefore everybody has failed.
So what's your diagnosis of the situation in Plateau State? Because
we need to engage on these issues.
Go ahead.
When he talks about if everybody is permitted to carry weapons, well, for instance, in Benue State, it has always been the headers attacking or militants, attacking. But they carry weapons freely. The community should have his time behind his back. They should not carry weapons. I don't think this kind of logic it works for the people, because the only deterrence, and I started by saying, the numbers are too few. The governor does not have the power to recruit policemen. He doesn't have the constitutional authority to recruit military people. He doesn't have all of this. The management, the control of this apparatus of force, they are not under his control. Indeed, even if he gives a command, even if he gives a directive, not a command, the person responsible may say, look, I need to clear from my boss in Abuja and all of that.
Yeah, but so what about coming up with community-based response system that he talks about?
When the governor talks about communities organizing themselves, say they must make arrangement. What is the nature of the arrangement? Of course, they cannot just be carrying weapons without some form of licensing. That is legitimate. That is constitutional. It's a right to self-defense. Or we want to see the kind of decisions we saw in the case of Jackson Sunday, where a man defended himself. It was not in doubt. It was established in evidence that he was not the aggressor. Somebody entered, a trespasser entered his farm, sought to damage his crop, and also stabbed him, not once, twice, and yet was expected to simply run away with all the blood on his neck.
And he has a death sentence hanging over him.
It is this kind of thing. I understand doctor's position that this may lead to anarchy. He is a security expert, but this is what we see. We live this reality. And therefore, to say communities, the call by Governor Mutuan for communities to organize themselves, to make arrangements to defend themselves, is a call for anarchy. I don't agree. I don't think this is correct.
Okay, so Dr. Kabir Adamu, if you said it would amount to a call to anarchy if the people have to arm themselves and protect themselves, what are the alternatives? How can the people protect themselves?
No, the Constitution is very clear on who is supposed to protect us. This is my point.
Who is supposed to protect is not able to. Then,
as a people, we should speak as one and demand for accountability. This is my point.
From who? From the federal government?
Not from the governor.
From the governor as well, because I'll explain. The last time I was here, I gave you the scenario. Lagos has a near perfect public security structure. Plateau doesn't have. What is he waiting for as a governor? I recommended that he should take a one-day trip to Lagos and go and study. For God's sake, let our governors wear their thinking caps. This then is possible. A state in Nigeria has done it. I'm not comparing to America.
No, Lagos has the resources.
Plateau can do it. It's not. We're not talking of trillions of naira. It's possible. And even if it's going to take a few years, at least start somewhere. My point is this. The Constitution is very clear. If we reach a stage where we jettison our Constitution and now start making statements that are clearly against the provisions of the Constitution, then that is a recipe for anarchy.
How would a state of emergency sound in Plateau State or even Benue?
First, again, it is constitutional. The right to self-defense. Section 36 of the Constitution gives to every citizen the right to life. That includes the right to defend yourself. Indeed, to defend others and to defend your property. You're up to the point of even gunning down the person and taking his life. If your life has taken the life of another person,
how can the people defend themselves without
it? We have a weapons
act.
That is the
how
right
can the
of
people really defend themselves?
We have a weapons
that is the solution.
That says clearly.
That is one of the solutions that the governor of Plateau State has propounded, which is the way to go to communities should organize themselves. They should be supported by the state to organize themselves. Number two, organizing yourself to defend yourself is not necessarily about bearing arms.
True.
You are the security expert. You are the security expert. It could include reconfiguring the intelligence gathering mechanism. It can also include bearing arms that are licensed. It can include even the training as to be able to give early warning signals. These are things I didn't hear him say. Bear arms. He didn't say so. Say organize yourself and make arrangements. To defend yourself, that was what he said. It cannot be a mismanagement of identity. What identity are we talking about? What identity?
Right. Very quickly, before we go, and this is for both of you. With the number of killings in Plateau State, Benue, and in different parts of the country, you have the president who is out of the country. He's been away. He's in Paris. You have the vice president who's been attending conferences and what have you. It doesn't seem like the political class has paid any visit to this places. Does it send a signal of maybe a lack of empathy? I mean, what do you say
the governor
about
of Plateau State has been following up, going.
No, he has been there. He's
fine.
The governor.
Because when we talk about the political elite, we must make some distinction.
Right.
As early as 5 a.m., the deputy governor of Benue State was on his way from Makurdi, despite the insecurity, at 5 a.m., on his way to Tobi, where the killings happened last night.
Right.
I cannot give a blanket condemnation to the entire political class. I also believe that what is going on, and I heard the governor of Benue State saying he's been in touch with the NSA. I expect the NSA to also be in Benue. I expect the IG to be in Benue and in Plateau. The IG, for instance, was in Plateau.
He's been there,
He has been to Benue. I expect people, and in doing this, they are going to be assessing. He is a security expert. They will be going there to assess.
Therefore, very quickly,
I expect them to stop the killing.
Just stop the killing.
Yes, I don't expect them to do. Look, they visit, they waste money, and the killings continue. And my point, which is I'm going to reiterate, nobody among the security sector has been penalized for the killings.
No consequences.
No consequences,
All
no
right.
accountability.
We'll have to
And
look
this
at that.
has to change.
Yeah.
Our National Assembly that has responsibility for oversight, they need to wake up for their... If the executive arm, which is, responsible for security, is not, obviously not meeting our expectation, then let the National Assembly do
Step in.
Yeah.
Okay, Kabir Adamu, security expert, thank you so much for joining us. Abba Ejembi, thank you. National Secretary, Middle Belt Forum. Thank you, both of you, gentlemen.